Hello everybody! Today we're going to be looking at something that makes me proud to be Asian, and that is bubble tea. Which has gotten a bit more inconvenient to drink during the pandemic since when you order it in store, you're going to be wearing your mask since you're inside, and when you get it you actually can't start drinking it until you're in a place where you can take your mask off to put the straw in your mouth. I actually saw on Japanese news that there is this company that created like a mask that has like a slit for the mouth, and it was originally for the purpose of being able to play an instrument so you can fit the instrument through the slit to be able to play with a mask. But people are very quick to point out that the mask is perfect for being able to stick the tapioca straw in your mouth and drink it without having to take your mask off, which you can see in the comments in this picture here. Also, side note about the bottom comment in this image, or let me bring the image back since I'm not sure why it went off screen. But yeah, the bottom comment in this image is using a form of the Japanese verb tapiru. And if you can't tell based off the spelling, it's literally based off the word tapioca, and it means to drink bubble tea / tapioca. And I just thought it was really cool that like in the past couple years, as bubble tea has started becoming more of a thing in Japan, they literally took this loan word and made it into a verb in their own language, and it can be conjugated just like any other Japanese verb. And I know I'm getting really off topic right now, but just as someone who studied linguistics in college, I just found that super cool and interesting. Anyway, back to what we're doing today. So over the past few weeks, I have been saving the bubble tea cups that I have bought, and I have a few different cups from a few different chains in 2 different sizes. All right, let me get rid of this. And I did this because I was wondering, when you order a regular versus a large, how much larger really is the large, and are you getting your money's worth? And while we're at it, why not also compare the cup sizes between different chains as well as the sizes? So here I have a medium and a large cup from Gong Cha. Here I have some Kung Fu tea cups. And here's a cup from Teahouse, which is a local chain that I don't think has any stores outside my local area, but it only has one size. And I'm particularly interested in Kung Fu tea because, as you notice, I have 3 cups here instead of 2. And that's because recently they announced in a promotion that they are changing their cup design. So these are both mediums. This is the old one, this is the new one, and it has like this dome design at the top versus the old one. And in the promotion, they literally claimed that they literally just felt like changing the design, and the cups still have the same volume. But me, always being a skeptic, I wanted to verify whether this was actually true or not. Unfortunately, I did not get my hands on the old version of their large cup that doesn't have the dome at the top, but we do have both of the old and the new medium cups, so hopefully we can still sort of make a comparison. So this is how this kind of but not really scientific experiment is going to work. We need 2 pieces of information for each of these cups to be able to make a valid comparison to see which is the best deal. First, we need to know how much each of these cost, and there are a bunch of different flavors, obviously, with different prices, but I'm just going to arbitrarily pick taro milk tea since it's my favorite flavor, and use the price that the taro cost at each of these chains for each of these sizes when I do my calculations. And we also need to know how much volume each of these cups holds, and for that purpose, I have this, which is a 500 milliliter graduated cylinder that I just bought off Amazon last weekend. So for each cup, I'm gonna fill it with water to the brim, pour that into the graduated cylinder, read off the graduated cylinder to see how much volume was in the cup, and then use that to calculate the volume of drink that you get per dollar that you spent on that drink, which allows me to make a direct comparison between all the cups to see which was the most cost effective. And of course, there are huge assumptions that I'm making by doing this the way I am, such as I'm assuming that the amount of ice in tapioca pearls doesn't make a difference in the volume of the cup, which obviously it does. And I'm also assuming that when you order your drink, they fill your cup all the way to the brim every time, which of course also isn't true all the time. But again, this is not meant to be a rigorous scientific investigation. I just want to get a rough idea of whether I'm getting ripped off or not. And me being my autistic self, I am willing to go out of my way to get to the bottom of this. So let's see how much liquid each of these cups can hold, and at the end I'll give a breakdown of the overall results. Alright, so now that the measuring and calculating is all wrapped up, let's look at how everything ranks overall. You might have noticed that on some of those cups, I spilled a tiny little bit because my hands are kind of sloppy, but I don't think I ever spilled more than like a fraction of an ounce, so I think the results should still be pretty valid. So if we rank each of the cups from best to worst based on ounces of bubble tea you get per dollar, in first place, blowing the competition away, was my local bubble tea chain, Teahouse, with a stunning 7.6 ounces per dollar. Congratulations. In second place, we have Kung Fu Tea's large-sized cup with 4.6 ounces per dollar. In third place, we have Gong Cha's large cup with 4.3 ounces per dollar. Then next is Kung Fu Tea's medium cups with 4.1 ounces per dollar, and yes, both the old and new medium cups did end up basically having the same volume, and turns out they weren't actually lying about that in their promotion. And in last place, with the worst value of the cups I tested, Gong Cha's medium cup with 3.7 ounces per dollar. So the conclusions that we can make here, at least for Gong Cha and Kung Fu Tea, it is definitely worth it to purchase a large over a medium, and for the same size, Kung Fu Tea gives you a little more bang for your buck over Gong Cha. I do appreciate that Kung Fu Tea was honest when they said their new cups were the same volume as the old ones, but one thing that isn't entirely true is in store when I asked them, they unofficially said that their large cups are 50% more than their medium cups. If their large cups were actually 50% more like they said, they should be around 24 ounces since their regular cups are around 16, but I measured them to only hold 21.8 ounces, which is kind of slightly less than what they're claiming. But I mean, the large cups are definitely still a better value if you look at the numbers, so I mean, I guess it's not that much of a stretch. Anyway, one last note, the prices I used here were for the taro milk teas alone with no tapioca balls. And you might be wondering, hey wait, most people get their drinks with tapioca, so isn't that not really accurate to do your data this way? Well, those 50 or so extra cents for the tapioca, it does change the numbers a tiny bit, and I'll show you the numbers for that actually right now. But the overall rankings, as you can see, they still remain the same, so it doesn't really make a significant difference. So it's nice to find out that I'm not being ripped off if I order a large over a medium, at least at Kung Fu Tea and Gong Cha, and to know that Kung Fu Tea gives you a slightly better deal than Gong Cha does. But of course the difference isn't that big, and I'm still gonna go to Gong Cha because I like some of their flavors better than Kung Fu Tea, and I feel like that justifies the slight increase in price. However, I will probably actually try and go to Teahouse, my local bubble tea chain, a bit more often because just numbers wise, they clearly were by far the best. But anyway, that's going to about do it for this video. Let me know what your thoughts were in the comments section below, and make sure to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter if you like this video and want to see more, and I'll see you all next time.